How you doing, Doctor? How you doing, Doctor George in class? This is Randy Harris from Principles of Supervision online. Uh, this is a YouTube video covering my PowerPoint presentation on the implementation of robotics into the processes and procedures in plastics manufacturing. If you notice on the first slide, there's a picture of a robot. They're doing some pick and packing. That's the type of robot that I actually work on at work for aeroplastics manufacturing. And uh, hope you enjoy this my show. I'm sorry if I keep looking off to the side. I'm having computer difficulty, so I've got my PowerPoint loaded on another screen, but there is an attachment on here. Okay, introduction, background to aeroplastics. We're over a 50-year-old company. We do plastics manufacturing through injection and blow molding. We got our first robot approximately 11 years ago. Most of the stuff that you'll see that's ours from Aeroplastic, you'll see a lot of it at Walmart, Kmart, and it'll be in a box that says Aero. If you see stuff like that, that's stuff that I make. We do plates, just about anything you can think of. Plates, forks, spoons, water bottles, water jugs, serving trays, all that types of different stuff. My position in Aeroplastics is I'm a robotics slash automation apprentice along with a maintenance apprentice working on the machines that make the product. I'm right now an apprentice for both departments. There's actually 3 departments within the maintenance department. There's our robotics and automation, our blow molding department, and then we've got our injection department. I work in all 3 departments as an apprentice, primarily focusing on blow molding and robotics and automation. The thought process behind the implementation, this was brought up more or less from both of my mentors in maintenance, my maintenance manager Don Anderson and Dave Graham, our robotics and automation integrator slash engineer designer. Both of them come from previous companies that were pretty much fully automated, what they call blackout operation. Blackout operation is where you have 1 or 2 people in the whole building and you don't need the lights on. Robots do everything. Both of these men come from that background, and they decided that the only way we're going to keep going forward as a company is by starting to use robotics there to reduce our scrap and increase our productivity and our options for expansion and remaining competitive in the marketplace. Overview of what robotics does. Like I said, it reduces our scrap rate. They work 24 hours a day. Stuff like that don't require much from us. They can keep on running. You can leave them be and don't have to sit there and worry about them screwing off or anything else. Our second slide, or our third slide, covers planning. And basically the planning was like I said, both my mentors went up to one of the company owners, who's the president of operations, who more or less says yes or no to the idea. Planted the idea into his mind that if for us to remain competitive and to go forward, they needed to look into this. Bob Klakauskas, who's the owner and president of operations, decided, you know what, you're right. this is what we brought you here for, to streamline, make everything better, make us more money. So from there, they decided to form a group, basically utilizing our engineering department, our president of finance, who's also the other owner, Bob Ronner, or Bruce Ronner, I'm sorry. Sorry, Bruce, if you ever see this. Dave Graham, our robotic integrator. David Moss, our engineer. And, Don Anderson, our maintenance manager. And another guy who was a go-between was Vern Faberberger, our projects development manager. Basically, the team members' objectives. Don would take care of basically like all the electrical panels and everything else that we needed to operate these robots, get the area set up with electrical, airlines, and whatever else. We basically do the install of the robots. Dave Graham, he would sit there. He's the main guy that everybody would refer to. He decided on the five different companies and types of robots to look at, before he decided to go with Fanuc, since they're widely known, and the type of robot that we use is a 6-axis robot, like you see on the picture here. That's actually an 8-axis robot, and it's very versatile and functional for everything we need. Training of personnel. Basically, training was all the floor supervisors per shift were sent to FANUC, along with Don Anderson and the president of operations. They all participated in a 4-day class at FANUC, where they learned how to write programs, how to fix error codes, and operate the robots with quite some proficiency and skill. Other target employees that were trained are our startup people, or what we call mechanics, ones who go around startup machines or get machines ready for the next whatever changeover, whatever item that they're going to make. Some of the pros of robotics implementation. Number one is our objective of remaining competitive within the market. We have a lot of competition with a lot of Eastern Asian companies, since their labor costs are substantially lower than ours. By implementing robots, this helps us remain competitive with them, if not even better than some of them, even though our costs are a little bit more. Reduction in scrap. Beforehand, we were running approximately 10 to 20% scrap rate. What that means is a product would come out of the machine, it'd be damaged, or before the robots, they'd drop onto a conveyor and get damaged, and we would not be able to sell that. We'd have to sit there and ship it back out. And a robot doesn't require benefits. Don't need no employee benefits, no health insurance, no nothing like that. Can work 24/7 and not complain until about 3 months, when you need to do an actual check on it if it's been running that long, to make sure it's running and operating okay. There's really only two cons with robotics implementation, and the first one is the initial startup cost. The initial startup cost for everything that the company put into their first robot was approximately $75,000, but the payback period on that was actually only 7 months, which was fantastic in our owner's eyes. And the only other thing is, it's a slightly slower production rate. It adds about 1 to 2 seconds per item of production time. Um, and overall, that's really not that bad because they stop the machines when they do shift changes and everything else. So it saves us on the shift change process. The analysis of the implementation process, the objectives, they were pretty much laid out flat from everything that I've interviewed with the owners and people that I've interviewed. They more or less set time frames. The time frames were a little bit extended longer. Initially, it took 3 months to start up. From start to finish for a robot, we're actually now down to uh, a month and a half. Programming. Now that Dave is doing that more often, or I can't say more often. Now that Dave is doing that all the time, our programming time for each machine has gone down. Training, like I said, certain employees were sent out to FANUC, while other key employees, like I mentioned, the maintenance was, or the mechanics were done in-house. Actual cost analysis, like I said, it was $75,000 for the robot and everything to go along with it. It was done in 3 months. Payback period on that was 7 months. It did save us 50% on labor, and an actual parts costs or piece costs, it saved us 7% per item that we made. Changes that have been made now that the company's been doing robots for a while. We just installed our 11th robot. Um, our the changes have just been more or less in the time frames that we have everything done in. Before they even start making up for another robot, they've already got Dave Graham, our integrator, working on another program. Summary real quick. uh, Robotics are definitely a necessary need for uh, remaining competitive within our in the plastics market. And as you notice on this last slide, these are two robots, and if you look closely, these are actually bartending robots. I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and let's have a drink. Have a good day. This is Randy Harris. Bye.